Hey, what's going on, Geminis? Butch here. I am going to do your September read from now to the end of September. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. With all that being said, let's get it. Yours, what do we have for Geminis? What is going on for Geminis for September 2023? What's going on for Geminis? All right, Geminis. So the first thing that I'm getting, Geminis, I feel like there's a lot going on. I feel there's a lot going on now, and I feel like it would continue that way. I feel like there's a lot of overthinking. And I mean, the first thing I'm getting here is that it's like, I feel like there's a lot of outside noise. I feel like you're getting a lot of outside noise. And I feel like it's causing you to overthink. And I mean, Gemini's overthink as it is. Trust me when I say this. I know Gemini's very well. Like I said, like most of you know, Fierce is a Gemini. The two of the most important people in my life are Geminis. My best friend and Fierce Rose. And they've been, my best friend has been my best friend since I was 4. Fierce, I mean, we spent 14 years together, and it's so I have a very unique understanding. And I know you overthink, but I feel like you're really overthinking. And I feel like the biggest thing that I'm getting right off the get-go here is shut out the outside noise. Don't worry about the outside noise. It's causing a lot of internal struggle. We have that five of wands. And then we have that Queen of Swords. So it's like being honest with yourself. Don't worry about the other people, other noises being right. Don't worry about outside noises. Don't worry about outside people being right. Don't worry about what they're thinking. Worry about your happiness. Worry about you being happy. A lot of times we have people on the outside saying things, and this is relevant to the reading. We're going to get to this a little bit more in depth, but in the beginning, it's like a lot of people have a lot to say. A lot of people that don't even know you. A lot of people that don't understand you may have a lot to say. And it's not that I'm saying you can't trust anybody or anything of that nature. It's basically what I'm seeing here is the person you can trust the most is you. And listen to that voice. Everything else is just white noise. Now, the reason I say this is because I feel like there is someone that you already know. And I feel like there has been some chaotic energy with this person as of late. And I feel like things are a bit unsettled. I feel like things got a little bit complicated. And I feel like it's causing a lot of stress and anxiety. Or it feels that way. But what I'm seeing is it's not the circumstances, it's not the situation that this with this other person. It's I feel like the added on pressure of the outside, that white noise we talked about, is causing you even more pressure. Thinking too much in the now and not about the future. Sometimes we can get bombarded with feelings, bombarded with thoughts. And with Geminis, it can even happen so much more because of the fact that you got the twins. You got those two people or two different mindsets kind of. I always call being with a Gemini like an emotional threesome, because you have those two people and sometimes they don't get along so well. Sometimes they have two different perspectives or two different ideas. But again, don't worry about the right now is what I'm getting. Don't worry about the right now. Worry about the process. Worry about the future. Now, and I feel like if you do that, seeing things in a different perspective, and why that's relevant in this read is I feel like that chaotic energy, the falling apart, that you have with this past person, I feel like it's causing you a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress as well. Because I feel like this person is very important to you. And I feel like somewhere along the way we got a little bit off course. But we're going to see things in a different perspective. It's like that saying goes, if you change how you look at the world you look at changes. And I do see this person is wanting to come back into your life. And I feel like it's a very, very genuine energy from this person. I feel like this person is trying to do a lot of work to get back into your life. And I feel like it's because you're important to them. This person only thinks about you. They want to be next to you. And they're doing the work, they're putting in the work because they can't walk away from you. They don't want to walk away from you. We have that 8 of Cups in reverse. And I feel like sometimes we have these breaking points. And it's not so much a breaking point. It's like we get to a point where all along it was kind of fun and games. And then when the real moment happens, sometimes it doesn't work out the way we planned it to. It's almost like if you've ever been in your life and you had something planned. And then the moment you planned something for weeks, and then that moment came that it was happening. It was supposed to happen. And then it ends up not happening the way you thought it was gonna. Or if you were gonna say something to somebody, and then when the moment presented itself, you didn't say it. Or it came out wrong. I feel like this breaking point wasn't a breaking point as much as a new beginning. Now, with this person, I see a huge transformation. And I see it continuously transforming. I see that this person isn't as different of what you thought they were. I feel like sometimes it takes chaos to find control. And I know that, I hope that makes sense. But I feel like sometimes things just have to kind of spin out of control in order for us to gain control. And I don't mean that I control someone or control the situation. Sometimes it's like a volcano. We know there's a point when this is going to erupt. We don't know when, but when it does, then it gives us a new beginning. It's a new starting point. And like I said with this person, I feel like this person, they're not giving up on you because there's too much to lose. And I feel like this person wants to reconcile. I feel like this person wants to make things right. Because they don't want to be with anybody else but you. And I feel like you don't want to be with anybody else but this person. But I feel like there was a point where, I see, sometimes we say you have to forgive people, not for them, but for yourself. But in this situation, I feel like forgiving them for them will benefit you. This person isn't going to give up on you. I feel like there's so many important aspects to this. I feel like not only is this person a lover, is this person not only a partner, but I feel like they're your best friend. I feel like we got to a point where we thought it was a breaking point to break it and shatter it, to where it can't be repaired. But I feel like what really happened is we got to a breaking point to where we had to break old cycles in order to begin new ones. It's like people always say closing one door to open another, but it's like in order to have something new, we had to break the old thing. The old thing didn't work. And I feel like it took time to figure that out. But like I said, I feel like the old thing didn't work. It didn't provide us. And that's the thing. Sometimes we get in a relationship with someone. It can be based on sex. It can be based on friendship. It can be based on a lot of things. But it can be very, for better lack of words, it can be very immature. Real relationships go through stages. When you first get with someone, say you get with someone when you're young. Say you're both 18 years old, 19, 20, doesn't really matter. But when you get with that person, your mindset is different than when you're 30, 40. So what worked for you at 20 may not have worked for you at 30 and 40. It probably won't. Sometimes the transition is harder for others. But what makes it even more complicated is if what worked for you at 20 didn't work for you at 25, but the person you're with it's still working for them. Maybe 30 is when it didn't work for them anymore. When we both get to a point when we realize that we've grown, we've transformed, like I said with that death card, that's when it's the make or break, they call it. I call it. I don't know who they are, but anyway, it's what I call it. There's a point where you get to it and you say, okay, was this a karmic relationship? Was this to get me to this point and that's all it was meant to do? Was that the role that they were meant to play in my life? Or has the roles, I'm trying to find the right words. It's, if we think of it as a TV show, I don't know why, but that's what came up. If we think of it as a TV show, some characters play 3 seasons and then their kind of character kind of hits their arc and it's over. They bring nothing else to the table. They're taking away. Then we get a new character fill in. And that's how in relationships, sometimes we were with someone for 3-4 years. What's going on between us doesn't fit us anymore, so we move away from each other. But with this person, I feel like we got to a point where the roles needed to be renewed. This character is important to us. This character played a big role. The role's not done, it just transitioned. We start off at, when you first get with someone, you have say you have a sexually charged connection. But then there comes a point where that isn't enough. Can they bring more to the table? Or is that all they had? With this person, I feel like there's more to be had. I feel like this person is very protective of you. I feel like this person wants to make you happy authentically. I feel like you share a strong bond with this person, and I feel like moving forward, like I said, I see a huge transformation. I see this person opening up more and allowing you more insight to who they really are. And I feel like you're going to find with that is that you're going to see who they really are, and you're going to realize that it is what you want. It is what you wanted. Because early on in a relationship, too, when it's very immature, we're in that very immature energy. Sometimes we don't know what we want when we first get with someone. So we play it out. And then one day we get to a point where we realize what we want. And sometimes it can be too late. And I feel like that's where we got to with this chaotic energy. I feel like it got to a point where you didn't feel like they were growing anymore with you. You're kind of growing apart. But I feel like this person's finally ready to step up and join you in that forward movement. And I feel like this person wants to reach out, grab you, and hold on. They don't want to let you go. They're not going to let you go. You have a connection with this person that goes well beyond a karmic relationship. I feel like it took them a little bit longer than it took you to grow up. And I feel like this person is going to want to make things right. They're going to want to put things into place. They're going to want to prove that you weren't wrong about this person. They're going to want to prove that all the naysayers are wrong. I got this person nurturing this connection. And I feel like this is beside you is where this person wants to be. And it took them it took them a while to realize it. I feel like there was some kind of animosity. It's almost like this person felt like you were trying to change them or trying to trap them, which is strange because it's usually the Gemini that doesn't want to feel trapped. But I feel like it's almost like this person felt like you were trying to change them into what you wanted, and it wasn't what they wanted, but they realized that it is what they want. You did know better. You were right. They were wrong. And that's why they're coming back. And they're going to want to make things right. And like I said, this person is going to want to move forward with you. This person is going to give you, I feel like they're giving you their loyalty. They want to be part of your life. They want to continue. They're not done. Not by a long shot. The potential is too great to walk away from, and they're going to communicate that with you. They were wrong. They made a mistake. And they're going to want to make it right. And they're not only want to make it right. Like I said, that huge transformation that I see is not just this person making it right on a verbal level. They don't want to just say, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. I see this person coming into action. It's not just the words, which we do have that communication, but I feel like these actions are almost gasoline for this thing to move. It's the fuel. And I feel like this person is going to live up to their word. I do feel like with this person, I do see a very strong twin flame energy. And I feel like the foundation's already been built. And like I said again, with that Two of Cups, I do feel that is a bond that's a lifelong bond that you have with this person. I feel like you needed more from this person, and they didn't show up before, but they're showing up now. It took them a little longer to grow up than it took you to grow up, but they're coming back. in a very grown-up way. You know, and like I said, they're not looking to just come back and make things right for a short term. They're coming back. I mean, they're coming back to you because they want to be with you. You know, this is your forever person. They didn't do their job. They didn't show it when you needed them to. It's not because they couldn't. I mean, I feel a lot of stubborn energy. I do honestly feel like you're dealing with someone with a lot of fire in their charts. You know, we have Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. We have a lot of fire in this reading. You know, we have some Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. We could be dealing with a water, a fire, or an air. I'm really leaning toward more of an air sign or a fire sign with some water. You know, the stubbornness is kind of giving me the hint. I wouldn't be surprised if, and I know we talked about this before, and this comes up a lot in Gemini readings, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's leaning more so to a Sagittarius. And the reason I say that is because of stubbornness. I relate tremendously to this reading. You know, a lot of people, a lot of outside noise can be a lot for people. But for a Gemini, it can be massive. And it's not to say that you give a shit about what people think about you, because Geminis truly don't. That's what I love about them. You know, they say what they say. They give their truth. But sometimes outside noise, especially people that are close to you, saying a lot of things, having their opinions thrown out at you, sometimes it can be overwhelming. You know, sometimes it takes longer for other people to grow up. It doesn't mean they're the wrong person for you. It doesn't mean they're not the right person for you. It just means they're not on the same page at a certain time. You know, like I said about the relationship stages, you hit 25 and they're still playing at 20. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, you get to a point where you're ready for more. And sometimes that can be the end of a relationship. Or it could be the start of the next stage. Like I said, I can relate to this because regardless of what people think, a lot of people don't really know me. And I know I have a YouTube channel and I talk a lot. But in my personal life, I'm very quiet. I'm very to myself. I only talk to people that I have in my inner circle. And I keep my inner circle very small. And sometimes I don't give everything I have. You know, in the past, I've been guilty of not giving everything I have. But doing tarot over the last few years, I feel like I went through a lot of emotional stages. And I feel like doing tarot, a lot of people don't understand what really goes into it sometimes. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. It's hard on the head. You know, it gets very hard on the head. And then there's a lot of growth. You know, you have to change your way of thinking. I grew up in a Roman Catholic household, so trust me when I say that. It's like you got to reschool your whole brain. It's got to like you restart, reboot it. And sometimes the transition is very painful. But The man I am today is not the man I was a year ago. It's not the man I was 4 years ago. And as long as we continue to grow, nothing's impossible. People that say things are impossible, they just don't know. They don't know what we know. But love y'all. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.